Okay, we can chat now. So why are we here? Why am I here? There is a Holy Trinity to which I aspire, and I'm going to take you through the three, and I'm going to take you through how you can potentially please help me reach this Holy Grail. Okay. My Holy Trinity. This is the Holy Trinity of storytelling for what I'm going to do with my life, for what I'm supposed to do with it, for what I know I'm supposed to do with it. Let's go through each point. The first tip of the spear is directing. I want to direct feature films. I want to direct feature films of stories I've written, which we'll get into later as part of the Trinity. My directing career started doing the viral music video Red Dress, which is more than likely what you know me from and why you're even here. So I'm very grateful for that project. Red Dress was a directorial debut for me. It was during my time as a graduate student at Oxford. The story was about judgment and exclusivity, and it was a test of how I could bring the real world audience into that judgment. So if you're curious about that, definitely hit up that video and leave a very inventive comment for me, please. People got so creative in their criticism of that video. It was like part of the experience just to read the 17,000 comments on there as of now. Of course, a lot of things go viral, but not a lot goes viral and gets press coverage. So this project got press coverage from BBC to Variety to Newsweek, iHeartRadio, the South African, all over the world, international coverage because it was different. It seemed experimental. It wasn't a type of music video that's often released. And that's really because I did that video as a director, not an artist, which is a really important part of that project. So that got my foot into the door in entertainment. It proved to myself that I could direct, something I'd wanted to do my whole life, but I had been very in the fast lane for academia, which I love. It was really hard leaving that world, but I need to be a different type of storyteller. Trinity. Where did we go in directing from there? Okay, that music video actually got me into the door in venture capital. So venture capital is a space where you invest in the most exciting startups. So these brands needed branding and they needed viral content that was not only going to get views, but create a real brand identity that an audience could relate to and become part of the cultural sphere. So after I had my proof of concept with Red Dress, they recruited me to do that for companies. Okay, so where are we in this Holy Trinity trajectory? We went from doing very cheap experimental student music videos to getting hired at a venture capital and private equity firm to do basically social first commercials and sketch advertisements and content online. This is a really important part of the journey as a director to get to feature film. So I kept on upping the budgets for either commercial work or music videos. Because Red Dress did well, I pushed myself to try different kinds of music videos and up the stakes in the production value. And to go further, I'm no longer in venture capital, so I created Branded Productions, which is an extension of the work I was doing at that VC firm, but includes music videos for artists, it's commercials for companies, it's sketch advertisements, social first content, etc. Okay, here's the scheme to dream aspect of this. I want Branded Productions to be bigger than what it is today. But to do that, I have to get my own feature film out there. And this is all building to the one story that I need to get out as my first directorial debut in the feature space. But it's hard. It's hard to get Hollywood to listen to you. It's hard to know what the hell you're doing most of the time, but I'm doing my best. And that's where we are. Now we return to that Holy Trinity. So that's directing. That's the tip of the spear. What else do I have to do in this holy grail of storytelling to get it all coming together? I have to start writing. So I wrote a screenplay. This is the next part of the Holy Trinity. Screenwriting. Teaching myself how to screenwrite is grueling. I would teach myself how to screenwrite at the end of every day that I was working in venture capital. So from 9 p.m. until midnight or 1 a.m., I was teaching myself how to screenwrite and putting the story that I know I need to start with onto those pages. The screenplay actually got me a literary manager. That was really exciting because it was the first time that anyone in the Hollywood industry was paying any kind of attention to me. And it happened in a really roundabout way. I was doing consulting for another firm and they wanted to hire a content creator, which is something that I did a lot during my time in VC. Hi, Misha, my little doggy. Yay! Do you want to be? She's going to be a star one day. Anyways, I was hiring a content creator, consulting for a company, and I met with their management team, and one of the managers on that team looked at my own work and my email signature because I have my branded productions website linked on everything, and he saw, hey, you're your own creative. I would love to take a look at your work and chat. He basically was interested in me because the way I was talking about the creator economy in that meeting with all the managers and that content creator from my time in VC, kind of knew what I was doing in that space. And because Hollywood and the creator economy are increasingly intersecting these days, it actually was my foot in the door. So I met with him. He read my work. He read my screenplay. He looked at the commercials and music videos I directed and said, I want to help you get this screenplay into a film. I want to help you build your career. It was many, many years to get to this point, and many, many drafts, probably like 20 drafts of that screenplay to get it to a point where someone like him was reading it and saying, hey, this is viable in this industry. So that's the screenwriting point. Ticked for now. So what is this third point in this holy trinity of storytelling that I'm aspiring to? This is where it gets interesting, at least to me. Author. So normally film adaptations come after a book. That was not the case for me. So I wrote the screenplay, and it is such a obscure and difficult journey to get that screenplay on the screen. I was talking to a lot of other people in the industry, and they kept encouraging me to own more IP, and that's a lot where the profit is actually as well, these creator fees that I'm learning about. And you get creator fees when you own the IP. Like, for example, the people who come up with the concept of the Big Bang Theory or Friends, they're getting a lot of that revenue. They have these creator fee. Like Phoebe Waller-Bridge has that for Fleabag. It started with her and her magnificent brain. Really want her as a producer on my work one day. And so I had this in the back of my mind, and I was looking at my screenplay one day, and I felt that one of my two main characters was feeling a little flat to me. I thought she could be rounder and more fleshed out. And so I wrote chapter 1 of the screenplay story as an exercise to deepen my character understanding. And then I had this dismal realization that one chapter of the book at that point, was better than my whole screenplay. Yeah. After years and years of working on the screenplay. I mean, it was good, don't get me wrong. It was a good screenplay when the first draft. I mean, it was good enough to get this manager to pay attention to me. It did what it had to do. But I realized that I actually did have the ability as an author. And so XYZ external factors happened in my life. I got laid off from my VC firm. I got displaced from the fire in Los Angeles. I mean, my life was really crazy. And then this realization was happening at the same time as all these other calamities in my life. So I wrote the book. This is actually another video where I get way more into this. But I wrote that book in 6 months. And at the point of posting this video, I'm still looking for a literary agent. I just started that querying process because I do have a manager, but that technically means, this is what I'm learning, the manager means I'm represented for film and television. But if you're going to do a book, you need a literary agent that specifies just that. So I'm in this painful purgatory of waiting for literary agents to read my query and by some grace of the higher deity, read the sample pages that I've attached. This is where this holy trinity starts connecting. If I can get the book out there and I'm owning all the IP and I'm crazy passionate about getting the story out there. Can love survive in hell? That's the story. Actually, if you want a little sneak peek of what that story's about, I did a music video called On the Surface. And it's kind of a teaser into what the story of my screenplay, book, future film is about. So this is my holy trinity. I want to be all three. I want to be a director, a screenwriter, and an author. I want every story I have to have a book component as well. My favorite films have almost always been from books. There's something so special about the authenticity and the roundness and depth of characters that are first fleshed out in books. You can feel the presence of their dimension on the screen. And that is so powerful. Something that Hello Sunshine is really honoring, this production company by Reese Witherspoon. She has a book club, and she tests she tests what she's going to put on the screen in the book club with books, and then she chooses what books she's going to turn into film or TV. I want to be this holy trinity of storytelling where there's just some beautiful purity as well in the funnel of the storytelling, because when you're translating from a book to the screen, aka from the author to the screenwriter to the director, most of our frustration as an audience is when things get lost in that translation, when the moral spine of the story gets twisted into ways that are not authentic to the moral binding of the original story. But when you centralize the storytelling funnel, for example, in one person, there's a purity in the storytelling funnel. It doesn't happen often, and it's somewhat wacky. It's very cocky and ambitious, but I want to try. I want to be this. I want this to be my life. I want to be the holy trinity of storytelling. This is why I'm starting to make content. I want to open the journey up, and I want you to be a part of it. It's not always going to be videos like, hey, I got this agent. Hey, I got this manager. Hey, I got this book deal. No, I mean, I don't know what the future holds. And it's already been a lot of trial and a mental health roller coaster. And I just want to find the community that wants to be there for it. I want to be that feature film director one day that's doing behind the scenes of filming feature films. If there is a channel showing Greta Gerwig or Emerald Fennell on set vlogging how they bring a film to life, oh my goodness. That would be like Narnia for me, like Halloween candy, Narnia, whatever is higher than that. I also want to get to the point where I can democratize channels into Hollywood. It is so difficult for you to get noticed or for you to get a beautiful story out into the world. I want to create more open opportunities for people who don't have management and don't have connections like me. I knew no one in Hollywood to be able to get the stories they know they need to put out in the world out there. So I hope you come along with me for it, and I hope I reach the Holy Trinity. I always have to cheers with the matcha, so I'm going to hold both awkwardly and say cheers.